So I am choosing tonight, of all nights in this glorious underground, to set up the new real full SE. And it seems almost sacrilegious that I would set this up tonight in this underground, but the only thing more sacrilegious would be to not skate tonight. So we are in rainy season up here in Vancouver again. So as I said, it's the new full SE. So what does that even mean? Well, what it actually stands for apparently is short edition. So one of my only complaints about Real Decks is it's hard to find a short wheelbase. Everything seems to be about 14 3/8 and up. So what I have here, this is actually, it's an 8.06, it's 31.5 inches long, and it has a 14-inch wheelbase. So that's a short deck with a short wheelbase. And I'm actually really excited to try out the real wood in that size and shape, because I'm starting to realize I actually like smaller boards. While I do enjoy the comfort of a wider deck, I just skate better on smaller boards. I mean, I grew up riding 7.5s, probably with 14-inch wheelbases, so all my muscle memory is on small decks. Anyways, let's take a quick look at this. So, it's got a cool design on the top, which I don't know if that's gonna show through the grip or not, but at least it looks cool on the shelf. And I don't know if you can see, but it's got these really cool embossed squares in it. So that's kind of neat. Okay, fingers are flat. What have we got here? We have about 2.5, almost 3 on the tail. We got about 2 to almost 2.5 on the nose. It really goes up pretty gradually on this. And let's take a quick look at the shape. So here we can see what they're talking about, the full. It's got a pretty blunt shape, which I like. I love that sort of blunt shape, but not as much as an FA. Here's the tail, shadows, and from this angle, again, nice and blunt. So you know what? I would definitely call this a flat deck. And I'm also riding Venture Highs, which are traditionally a truck I like the least, and traditionally I haven't liked flat decks. But I think I'm actually learning how to skate flat decks for the first time since I started paying attention. I bet you I could ride flat decks when I was a kid, because you just don't pay attention and you learn how to ride whatever you've got. But I totally developed a taste for steep decks and haven't really gotten over that, but I think I'm actually learning how to ride these. Some tricks are coming pretty easily to me tonight, and I'm adjusting my form to make some of the other tricks that aren't working tonight. So let's carry on. So that was a fun and surprising first session on that deck. So I ended up riding this board for 5 or maybe even 6 weeks. It was also really good for manuals, especially with the Venture Highs. That was one of my favorite things about this board, is the short wheelbase. The Venture Highs makes for a really nice manual point. Also, have I mentioned how much I love a 14-inch wheelbase for 360 flips? I've been working really hard to get those back. Having this deck has helped a lot, and it's also kind of got that sort of perfect medium mellow kicks that went really nicely with indies. So after that session, I actually did end up switching this deck to indies, and I was riding it with 144 standards. And it was really great on that. And the wheels I had were about 52 millimeters, kind of wide. They were my 54 millimeters worn down, so they were a pretty wide wheel. And here's a session out at UBC that I had with Oleg, just kind of having fun on this thing.
Yeah. Woo. Get a hard flip.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Oh! Thanks, Oleg, for filming.
Yeah, Ben.
Here's some Oleg stuff. So that was a fun session, and I would say he's the only teenage skater I've ever known who asked me if I'm going to be skating at 8 in the morning or earlier. That session was 8:30 in the morning on a Sunday. So I tried this deck on all sorts of trucks. It was great on Venture Highs. I tried it on Thunders. It wasn't bad, but it felt a little bit too low for me. And then when I switched back to the Indy Standards, which were the tallest of the three trucks, then all of a sudden all the tricks were happening again. Because with those mellow kicks, I personally am liking to have my board up pretty high so that I get a little more time before my nose or tail hits the ground. So roughly 5 weeks later, this deck still had tons of pop. I've ridden other flattish boards that tended to kind of let go every week. Like every week, if you actually check this with some sort of micro measure, the tail would actually probably be dropping a little bit. But this deck didn't do that. It stayed nice and firm, which is, you know, shows the quality of real wood for having a flat deck. Usually decks with a lot of concave stay stiffer for a lot longer. So once again, I'm impressed with the quality of real boards, and now I'm also impressed with the diversity of their products. So because mostly I've only skated really steep decks from them, and now I've skated a really high quality mellow deck, so medium mellow kicks and concave, and I've really liked this. So the good news is there is something for everybody. It is hard to find a wheelbase under 14 3/8 in real decks, but the full SE has that. So if you like a full shape and if you like a slightly shorter board, they're definitely worth checking out. I can't guarantee what they're gonna be like if you order it online, but if you're in a shop and maybe you're like me and you carry a tape measure around with you, then you can actually really figure it out. Anyways, if you've been wondering about the real full SEs, this has been my experience and my opinion of it. I think it's a great deck. I had a lot of fun riding it, but now I'm having a lot of fun trying out a real slick. So that's the first slick board that I've ridden in over 20 years. I had a slick once when I was 12. So again, hope you found this useful or entertaining. Thanks for watching one of my videos on my channel, and may your next session be your best session yet. Oh, you guys, I forgot to mention, to anyone who hasn't yet, you should be checking out my Instagram. It's just @BenDeGros. You'll find it first try. So I'm putting a lot of real-time reviews of products. I'm gonna have trick tips, not ticks. I'm gonna have all kinds of things on there that I hope you guys are gonna find useful for your skating. So be sure to check out that too. Okay, bye for real this time.